Today, we're diving deep into a topic that resonates with so many of us in the business world: imposter syndrome. That nagging feeling that you're not quite good enough, that you've somehow fooled everyone into thinking you're more capable than you really are. And if you've ever felt like a fraud despite your accomplishments, you're not alone and you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have felt this way myself. In this episode, we're sitting down with Roxy Nicolussi, and she's a strategist, a futurist, and a change coach, and the founder of the Big Bold Company. In 2018, an accidental bold move left Roxy with a six-figure business owner. It changed the way that she moved through life, and she hasn't looked back since. With a master's of design in strategic foresight and innovation, Roxy has helped companies like Shopify and Spotify confidently navigate change. After 8 years of helping businesses of all sizes confidently navigate change, Roxy started to apply similar proprietary strategic frameworks to help women make bold moves towards the empowered, unapologetic lives that we've always wanted. Be it starting a new business or moving abroad or coming out of the closet or taking up space in other ways. From speaking on international stages to teaching college courses, Roxy is on a mission to spread her message about the power of bold moves in life and in business. We'll explore the roots of imposter syndrome, why it's so prevalent among entrepreneurs, and most importantly, how we can overcome it. And all of us have seen people who've battled this silent, confident, we call it the confidence killer, right? And emerged stronger from going through, talking about it, and working through these strategies. And she's going to share with us some of her own experiences with imposter syndrome, whether you're a seasoned business owner or you're just starting out. This conversation is for all of you. So let's go ahead and peel back the layers of self-doubt and discover the confident entrepreneur that's within each of you. Let's get started. So welcome,
Hi.
Roxy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I am so intrigued. I want to hear your story because as a small business owner myself and having coached many small business owners, we all face this. It doesn't matter how small your company is or you're running a Fortune 500 company. Everybody, I feel, faces the imposter syndrome thing. Why?
Absolutely. I mean, to start, there's self-doubt. No matter what industry you're in, there are going to be things that you're less confident about. The
Mhm.
problem lies in when we let that become our identities and we decide that because of that doubt, we don't actually deserve to be in the places that we are.
Mhm.
Commonly, this comes up a lot for perfectionists who have extremely high expectations for themselves.
Mhm.
Excuse me. um, and they'll never be able to reach their own expectations. So they assume that everybody else has the same expectations for them. Also, I think women in general downplay their accomplishments and are almost trained to play small. So we have been programmed to not take credit for things that we've worked very hard on or to be the humble one so people will want to work with us. But
Right.
in reality, we tend to downplay the things that we have done very independently.
And
Those
I
are
can
just
I can attest to
tiny.
that. I agree. I think we do downplay. Oh, it's just a thing. Yeah, I'm just staying in my own lane. I'm just doing my thing. When someone compliments you on some accomplishment that you've had,
Yeah,
I
we say I lucked out, beginner's luck or something like that.
right. We temper it, right? We
Mm.
temper it to where we're comfortable, maybe? I don't know.
We temper it where other people are comfortable because they don't like a strong woman that's
Huh.
proud and powerful.
Mhm. That's a good way
Mhm.
to put it. That's true. I can see that. And then we
Mhm.
feel uncomfortable because we know it's making them uncomfortable, and it's like a snowball. It doesn't get any
Absolutely.
better. Right. So,
And for
I
that
wanna
reason, we
hear your
continue
story.
playing small.
Right, playing small, exactly. So what is your story? Your imposter syndrome story?
Mhm. I love telling this story. So I finished my master's when I was 23, 24. And I had a year of experience after that. I was in an internship where I was quickly promoted to be a strategist like the rest of the team. And I had quite a few freelance clients. This is not the imposter syndrome part. This is me saying, I knew my stuff. I was good. I was often invited to mentor or to judge startup ideas and competitions. So not only did I know that I knew my stuff, but also people knew that I had a great reputation and I was good at what I did. However, not everybody saw it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 25, I was working in a place where I was bullied by a woman that I thought was going to be a mentor. She would call me the intern when I wasn't. Tell me her master's is better than my master's. Who says that?
A grown
And
woman.
get this, when I sent an email saying, "Hi, Jen, I'm Roxy. I'm working with name on this project." She pulled me into a room and slammed the door to say, "You don't work with me, you work for me."
Oh.
Yeah. So on top of the bullying, I was
Mm-hmm.
offered a salary of something like 54K, brought in the signed contract, only for the manager to rip it up and hand me a lower one.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
Definitely illegal, but I
Right.
didn't know better at the time.
Mhm.
So I was really disappointed by that. I fought for them to honor the original contract and won, but needless to say, I was not valued at this place.
Right.
And it really had me doubting, do I know my stuff? Why do some people think I know what I'm doing? But in the place that I'm paid to do the work, people don't seem to respect the work that I'm doing.
Mhm.
So that's where I was. Then I started interviewing at a new place with a different title. It was a contract role, and I really wanted it.
Mhm.
So when it came time to salary negotiations, I thought I would be happy with 60K. Ideally, I would get 65K. So I'm going to say 68K, and then they can talk me down and we'll see where we
Mhm.
land. That was my strategy. So in my head, I have 68K, 68K. And then the recruiter phones me and instead of asking for my annual salary because it was a contract position, asked for my hourly salary. So I just blurted out 68.
Mhm.
And then he said, okay, did some calculations. Okay, so that's a hundred and something $1,000. And I just went bright red. I was on the phone, thank God, not video call. But I went bright red and I just went, oh, well, when you put it like that, and he just, I didn't want to take it back, but
Mhm.
I just went pretty quiet. And so he said, I'll see what I can do, and hung up the phone. And I don't know if I cried or I laughed, but I just assumed I blew it. There's no way that I'm
Mhm.
getting this job because I just asked for an exorbitant amount of money to me at the
Right.
time.
Without knowing it.
Yes, without knowing it. So I assumed that I'm not getting the job. But then they came back to me with $62 an hour, which was still over $100,000 a year.
Wow.
And it was in that moment that I realized everything is fake. You
Mhm.
get what you ask for. But
Wow.
that's not all. When I was talking to the recruiter, he asked if I was a sole proprietor or a corporation. And I didn't really know the difference. I had never
Mhm.
even thought of anything like
Right.
this. So he said, well, based on your salary, you should probably consider being a corporation. So, in one accidental bold move, I became a six-figure business owner
Wow.
and I started to move through the world differently.
Mhm.
I started to operate like a business owner. I looked into investments and much other things that
Mhm.
you do when you become a business owner and become responsible for the amount that you're taking home.
Right.
So I was both an imposter in that moment, but I decided that this was my opportunity to fake it till I make it,
Mhm.
and I made it. And I've been a business owner ever since. It's been about 8 years now. Sometimes as a part-time side hustle, sometimes full-time, like that contract role. And it's just completely changed everything for me.
That's a wild story where you're just like, "Yeah, 68," not really thinking that he was thinking per hour.
Not at all. And again, I was making like 45 at the time. So it was more
Oh
than
my gosh.
what I
Right.
was expecting.
But I can see, I mean, that's a confidence booster. It's like, "Yeah, I'm worth that."
Exactly.
Somebody, where you have company A over here who clearly didn't even see, $45,000, right? And then this company B over here is like, sure, we'll give you 62 instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I probably could have fought for more, but I was just thrilled to get 62.
Well,
So I
oh
said,
my gosh. So that was like your foray into what you do, really.
yeah. I don't think I would have ever considered myself a business owner before that. I had worked on little projects, but once I had registered as a business, I realized that
Mhm.
working on projects was actually freelancing. So I
Right.
even just changed the language in the way that I talk about myself and the way that
Mhm.
I saw myself. I don't work at blank company. I'm an entrepreneur and they're my clients.
Mhm.
And
So
ever since then, I've been trying to get every woman in my life to fight for more and to know that she's worth so much more than she thinks.
because that's what we do. We dim it down. We go, I've been in that place so many times in my life, and not just for any particular reason, but somebody asks you to do something new, consult on something new. And you're like, you're thinking in your head, I've never consulted on that before. I know that area, but I've never taught that to someone else.
Mhm,
You automatically start dimming it down, going, I don't know, can I do this? How will I know what to do? And all of a sudden you've talked yourself out of it, or you've talked yourself down in less money where you're like, well, I've never done this before, so I'm going to do it for free
mhm,
and stuff like that. I mean, when you're talking to women in your life, what do you see? What are signs and symptoms? Like, as if we're talking about a regular health condition, right? What are signs and symptoms that people can see in themselves to kind of gut check themselves to go, wait a second, this is imposter syndrome. I know what this is. So they
mhm.
can identify it.
Let's see. The example that you just gave is great. Finding reasons to give yourself less or that you are less deserving of anybody else. I know a common stat that's quoted, and I might get the number wrong, but I think it's um, men or 80% of men will apply to a job when they have like 60% of the qualifications, and women will only apply when they have 100% of the qualifications.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
That I mean, that resonates
Yeah.
because we
So
don't feel like if we don't have it, we can't even aspire to get there.
exactly. What else is there? Just I think language is very powerful.
Mhm.
As I mentioned, I went from I work at blank company to I'm an entrepreneur. I'm freelancing. This is my client. And I think we downplay ourselves even in emails when we say sorry to bother you
Uh-huh.
or
Of course.
I just wanted to know. I just wanted to remind you about that thing that was due last week. Sorry to
Mhm.
bother you
You're
instead
right.
of,
You're
"Hey, here's
apologizing.
that thing."
What's that book, Girl Stop Apologizing? We shouldn't
Yes,
apologize
exactly,
for stuff. Yeah.
exactly.
But I do that. Now I'm gonna be watching my how I write my emails. Sorry to text so late, or sorry to bother you so early, or I
Mhm.
do that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure sometimes it's warranted, but maybe not in every email.
Right.
Um, Another one is just overly friendly to try to not make people angry in emails. There's a lot of on
Mm,
language
like
is very
avoiding
powerful.
conflict kind of thing?
Exactly.
Okay. And
Mhm.
okay, that makes sense. You don't wanna rock the boat.
I think confidence overall is something that we tends to take a hit when we have imposter syndrome. So the posture when you walk into a room, something I used to do that I'm grateful I had a manager of mine point out at one point was I would like sit in the corner of the room
Mm,
because I was like, I'm the intern. I don't deserve a seat at the table. And I didn't even realize that that's what I was quite literally saying with my actions.
that's, I that now you're talking about seat at the table brought something up in the back of my mind. Not too long ago, I was sitting at a table of a bunch of people who were really well versed in economics. And I had a seat at the table. I think in the back of my head, I'm like, what am I doing here? Why do they want me at this table? I don't belong here. Because my saying forever has been, I don't like numbers. I don't math. I don't love numbers. Like, I
Mhm.
don't. It's the truth. But I was using that to again dim my light, to push me down a little bit so that nobody in the room would ask me a question that I couldn't answer. And I feel like halfway through the meeting, as I'm sitting there, I realized, yeah, they all have experience in the same area, which is finance. That's not my area. My area is things that they don't know anything about, but I do. That's why I have a seat at the table.
Mhm.
When I realized that, I'm like, I just it blew my mind. I couldn't believe that I brought myself to that place of, in the matter of an hour going, I don't belong here to, oh my gosh, I belong here. Do
They
you
need
think
me.
some of that, like, how do we become more self-aware of those times when we're doing this to ourselves, when we're the ones that's sitting in the side of the room because we don't think we belong? How can we self-correct ourselves?
I love that story. I have one very similar. When I was in my master's, I was the youngest woman. And so I had just finished my undergrad.
Mhm.
And I remember there was a moment where I was sat at the table, and on my right was a Brazilian who had worked for Google. And on my left was Canada's first fair trade jewelry company founder.
Hmm. Wow.
And I'm like, these people are so impressive.
Mm.
Who let me in this room? Was there another Roxy that was supposed to get my letter? I don't understand. And over time, I decided to believe that there was a reason, even if I didn't see it yet, that I was in that
Mhm.
room.
Yeah. So you just have to gut check yourself, brain check yourself, just kind of go,
Mhm.
"Hello, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this?" To
Mhm.
be able to dig out of that hole,
We
right?
each bring something invaluable, and
Mhm.
we need a certain level of confidence to realize that and actually bring it.
Mhm.
So when we start to tell ourselves there's a reason we're in the room and the people in the room need your perspective, that's when we can truly add the value that we're meant to add.
Mhm. So, do you have strategies that you suggest that we can infuse in our everyday lives going forward? Are there
Yes.
things that you do or things that you suggest to other people to break out of the cycle? Because I do believe that some of it is a cycle.
Mhm.
And, I mean, because again, you can draw on your own perspective, your own stories, and I see it happening time and time again around certain topics for me, and a lot of the women that I work with, I see the same thing, and sometimes it's somebody from the outside who sees it, but you don't see it.
Mhm.
So what kind of strategies do you have that we can draw on every day?
One that has been so powerful for me has been a brag bank. So I have a little folder on my desktop or my phone of positive feedback that I've received. So when
Okay.
there's a day that I feel I'm not good enough or, oh, they didn't like my presentation, I can go back and say, look at these 100 screenshots of people
Mm,
that did like my work in the past.
love it.
Even if I did absolutely horrible on this one little thing,
Mhm.
that means nothing about the quality of the work that I do. So I
That's
call it a
great.
brag
Yep.
bank. And I had a bold moves challenge actually related to the cycle that you were mentioning. The idea is to practice these micro bold moves to increase your confidence. Practice to do one little
Okay.
bold move per day. And so one of the days was creating a brag bank. And I said, send me a screenshot so I can see that you've created a folder and put some screenshots into it
Mhm.
of positive feedback or things that remind you that you are worthy. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's something else.
Mhm.
For me, it has a lot to do with work and coaching. I like to look at testimonials of the impact that I've had, and that
Absolutely.
reminds me that I bring value.
I love the brag bank. I love that idea.
Mhm.
That's very, very cool.
Thank
What
you.
else can we do?
One of them is viewing challenges as opportunities. You can call this cultivating a growth mindset or positive psychology or whatever you want to call it. Um, Basically, knowing that if there's something you don't know, you're capable enough to figure it out.
Mm,
So
I
when
like
it
it.
comes to knowing 60%, having the confidence that you can learn the other 40%.
Mhm. I like
And I'm actually practicing this right now. I'm training for a triathlon
oh my
that's
gosh.
happening this Saturday. I just signed up and I said, I'll figure it out.
And it's happening in a few days.
Yeah. I mean, I signed up a while ago, but yes, it's
Right.
happening in a few days.
Wow. You can do hard things.
I can. And so can you.
Mhm. See, and I love that what you just said because I recently went through something in my life where my husband, who's the CFO of our company, ended up in the hospital for an extended period of time, and everything fell on me to figure out, financial stuff. And like, okay, I don't like numbers. We've already established that, right?
Mhm.
But I took that hard time where I didn't have a choice. I had to pardon my language. I had to figure shit out. I figured it out. And now I'm going to say to myself, I'm never saying to somebody again, I don't math, even if it's a
Love that.
joke, because again, it's that negative. I'm feeding the monster, if you will.
Exactly.
I'm feeding the monster. So I love, the cultivating your growth mindset and using challenges as opportunities. I call them hiccups. Like
Mhm.
if I have a failure in something, I call it a hiccup because failure's never final. You're always learning from it. And that's kind of what your
Absolutely.
challenges are, right?
And you have to try something in order to learn that it's not right for you.
Mhm.
I might never do a triathlon again, but I would have never known if I didn't sign up for one.
Right, because you're stuck in the what if. What if
Mhm.
I would have? And then you're not gonna know the answer because you didn't try.
Absolutely. And going back to my bold move story, if I had asked for a lower number, I would have never known that it was possible to get so much higher. And so
That's
many people
very
are
true.
there, they don't know. So my advice is to take what you want, what you think you value yourself at, double it and add tax.
I love it. Think what you're okay, so you take what you think you're worth, double it, and add tax.
Exactly.
And you did that, girl. You did
Accidentally
that,
I did that. Yes, accidentally I did
and you
that.
got it.
I did.
You have to ask for what you want. You're not always gonna get it because asking isn't always saying that you're gonna receive it, but the bold move you were talking about, ask.
I'm sure they valued me more because of that. They knew
Mhm,
that I saw myself as valuable and they saw me as valuable accordingly.
mhm. But, it goes back to you need to love yourself before someone else is capable of loving you, and it's kinda that whole realm, right? You need to think you're worthy enough before somebody else is gonna think that you're worthy,
Mhm. Absolutely.
you know? And there's another one that I know, that you have. What is the other one?
It's finding inspiration in those that have come before you. So, first of all, I think jealousy can be used as fuel. It's very easy for us to see somebody that has what we want
Mhm.
and tear ourselves down because of that. I think instead we can look at that as inspiration. Look, she did it, so I can too.
Mhm.
Visibility is so important. And we're in a time where there are more women that are entrepreneurs and are leaders in so many ways. We can look to them. We can tell them that they inspire us because I'm sure that would go in their bag bank
You're right.
and learn from them, accept their mentorship, and know that it's possible because they did it. And
Right.
so can you.
And that's great advice because you're not just fueling your cup or filling your cup, you're filling their cup as well.
Mhm.
You're filling their brag bank because, you're like, "Hey, you really inspired me." And you know what? Maybe someone's never said that to them before. Maybe that's
Yeah.
something they've never heard.
I think a lot of inspiring people don't get that feedback because they assume that everybody's giving them that feedback.
Exactly.
So
Oh, they don't need to hear it from me because they get so many, love letters from people all the time.
exactly.
And in
And
reality,
even if
I
they
don't.
do get it, 101 is always better than 100.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and to learn from people that have come before you, um, is because when you're learning from someone that's come before you, you have to that kind of puts you in the mindset of people are going to learn from me. It's the pass it down kind of thing.
Exactly.
To know that no, I'm not on a pedestal, but I know that I'm setting examples for other people as well. And if I teach, whether it's my child, somebody that I'm mentoring to dim their light, that's just going to keep on going. But if I show them how they can take all their time and their talent and bring them up in the world, now we've got something. Now we've got a positive train going forward.
Now we have a movement of
Yes.
empowered women.
Hmm. I love that. I love it. I love it. Is there anything else that we're forgetting to talk about in this space that you want people to know, that you want my listeners to hear?
I think if there's something you don't think you're worthy of, you think, why me? Flip it. Why not you?
Amen.
Yeah,
It's the power of words
it really is.
because words can change so much either way. Why not? Why not me?
Exactly.
I love it. Well, I loved our conversation.
Me
Loved it. Loved it.
too.
If our listeners want to get a hold of you, Roxy, how can they do so?
My website is thebigbold.co, and my Instagram is the same, including the .co.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Roxy, for being on today. I so appreciate your wisdom and all you've gone to get through to where you are today. It's very inspiring for people.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been so fun.
Thank you. And thank you to all my listeners. Have a fabulous day.
Bye.